Hey guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. So let's begin with the session number 9, and in this session we are going to integrate the React part. Like we see how we can create a sign up page, and we're going to create a login page. And into our previous sessions, the session number 7 and 8, we have integrated the simple JWT token for our backend part for the Django Rest Framework. And I have shown you how we can register in user with the endpoints, and we have seen how we can send a verification mail for once the user signups. He will be getting a mail, and once he click onto a link, and he will be going, his specific account is going to get activated. These all the parts we have seen into the previous session, and it was most interesting part. Now we are going to integrate this functionality with our front end. So we are going to make the things work from the front end. So we are going to create a front end screen, as I said, that is the sign up and a login, and we're going to connect with our backend part into this specific session over there. And one of the new specific news I want to tell you guys, like I have got the 7,000 of subscriber, and if you are new to the channel, please subscribe to my channel. And you can see I'm providing a very good quality content right on the Django Rest framework. It is an amazing series into my entire channel, I can say. And let's begin with the coding part for this specific thing, right? So we have seen, like, right, the products page, how we can display it. These all the things we have completed, and now we are going to purely work on to the sign up part of it. So I'll just show you how it is going to be. If I just come back to my website over here, so you can see we have a register form, right? You can see, let's create something like this, and where we are going to take the first name, last name, email address of a specific person, and we are going to integrate this show password and hide password feature. And along with that, we are going to integrate some kind of regex, like whatever the email they are going to enter, it should be specifically there, like within this specific scenario, at least there should be one number and one small character, a large character. And along with that, we're going to see how we can integrate this kind of small icons, and these things we are going to see. And once it's done, we are going to create a sign up page here as well. And let's do this specific part right now. So coming back to the Visual Studio Code, and this will be a purely onto the front end part, onto a React. We are going to see a lot of React component into this, how and React futures is going to work, right? So now coming back to the registered user, so you can see this was the endpoint we have created, that is API/user/register. So in this endpoint, it is going to expect these all the attributes, like first name it is going to expect, last name, email address, and a password. Anyhow, we need to send the request values from this form to this endpoint. That is the main agenda. Now coming back to my sign up component, so where I have created, here is the sign up component which I have created. So let's type all this specific code, right? So right on these specific things, right? So in this, I'm going to integrate a few of the inbuilt modules, like use effect, and we are going to use the use state, and we are going to integrate some of the bootstrap components, and along with that, we are going to use some kind of a React Redux component as well. So these are all the things we are going to make use of it over there. So first and foremost, I'm just going to implement so I wanted to type all these things. I don't want it to copy paste it. Even you guys can follow along with me. So let's import the first thing called as a use state, and I need to import the use effect as well. So I'm going to mention as a use effect. These are the two components I'll be importing to the React from the specific React, and I wanted to import. I'm just going to tell from the import into the, I'm just going to tell as a React bootstrap. I need to import one thing called as a container over here. So I'm just going to make use of a container. So this is the one other model I wanted to make use of, and let's see what else model I wanted to make use of it. All right. So container is basically, right, it's going to create some kind of a padding over there. So along with that, from this specific container, I wanted to import other few of the components. So like I wanted to implement a row, then I wanted to make use of the columns, that is row and columns. Then I wanted to make use of the button. So I'm going to use the React bootstrap button, and I want to make use of the form, and I want to make use of the card. So these are all the attributes I'm going to make use from the React bootstrap over there. Okay, so now I need to import the link. So I want to make use of a link that is going to come from the React router DOM. Okay, yeah, React router DOM. I am going to make use of the specific component that is called as a link over here. So link is I'm going to make use from the React router DOM. So just make these things into a single quotes or a double quotes. Okay, done. So this is all another component. Now let's import a few other from the React Redux. What is the thing you need to use from the React Redux? It is a use dispatch. I'm just going to use as a specific from this one. I need to make use of a use dispatch. Okay, So I want to make use of the use dispatch, and I need to make use of the use selector. So use selector from which thing? So I'm going to make it from React Redux. This is a component I need to make use of it. Okay, so once these things are done, then I need to make use of use navigate and use location as well from the React router DOM. Why I'm going to use, we're going to see why we are going to import all this component, what all these inbuilt functions, why we need to use it. Let's discuss that part. Okay, so from specifically React router DOM, I need to make use of a use navigate. So I'm going to make use of a use navigate. Then I need to make use of the use location, use location over there. Okay, so these are the modules I'm going to make use of the React router DOM over there. Okay, so once it is done, I guess all the things are been done. So now I'm just going to import the loader from here. So I'm going to make use of the loader as well. So I'm just going to use of a loader. I don't know why it is not giving me the suggestion. So load loader, right? Just press control. Okay, it is not giving somehow. Okay, let's import it. So I'm just going to import that is I guess I have imported somewhere into the other screens, right? So I'm just going to use make of this loader, send the messages into this specific screen over there. So these two things are been done. So once you have done, so now I need to import these all two actions has been done, right? Okay, so let's make use of this first. Let's create a form. Later we'll see what all other specific component need to be imported. Okay, now coming back to here, so now I need to make use of first I need to just create the entire form over here, right? So I'm going to remove this sign up screen from here. So I'm going to make use of a sign up screen. I'm going to make use of this specific template, detail template like this. So where I cannot get any kind of an error. So even if I use some kind of a tags over there. So first and foremost, I'm just going to make use of a container over here. I'm just going to make use of a container. So inside a container, I'm just going to keep everything. So inside a container, I'm just going to give the specific class name over here. So I'm just going to give it as a class name is equals to margin from the top. I wanted to create it as a 3 over here. Okay, so I wanted to create from the margin from the top. That is 3. You can see I don't have anything into my entire screen. It is an empty. So now I'm just going to create one specific row over here. So you know the bootstrap row is being divided into one row will be having 12 columns. Okay, so that is what the row means. So I've just created a row. So I'm just going to create a column that is going to be the medium size of 4 over here. So I'm going to create a medium size of 4 column. So I'm just going to close the column over here. The first column I'm just going to keep it as an empty. Second, I'm going to integrate the form, and the third column also I'm going to keep it as an empty. So if I wanted to just see it here, you can see the 4 column here. 4 plus 4 is 8, and 8 plus 4 will be 12. So once I save this, you can able to see here 4, 8 and 12. Now I want to get the form at the center, so I'm going to make use of this middle one. Okay, so it is what I'm just going to make use of it. I'm going to make use of this specific column now. So in this specific column, I wanted to make use of the card component, that I wanted to just keep everything inside one kind of a card. So the card is going to have a lot of functionality. There will be having a card header and will be having a card body into the bootstrap, right? So I'm going to make use of a specific first kind of a card header over here. So in the card header, and I'm just going to use this card header as equals to, it should be as a h1 tag. You can make use of an h1 tag, and I'm going to give some of the class name over there. So the class name can be, it should be at the text center. Okay, and if I want to give the background color, I'm just going to keep it as a background is equals to black color, and the text should be LIGHT light color. This will be the functionality of this specific card header. So inside this specific card header, I wanted to give it here as a SGNUP sign up over here. Okay, so once I save this, so you can able to see, once you can see able to see here as a sign up over here. So I'm going to make it as a 100%. You can see it is able to see in this way. That is, you can able to see the sign up, and you can see something we have integrated in this way over here, right? Even if I wanted to reduce the fonts, we can do it. I'm going to make use of h3 tag. Let's see how it is going to look. So I just make use of an h3 tag. So you can see it is looking fine now. Okay, so I'm add as a h3 tag. Okay, that's cool. Then once it is done, hard header is done. So sorry, the card header. So once the card header is done, then I'm going to make use of the card body. So I'm going to make use of the card body. So this is the way of using a React components. Okay, so you can directly use directly from the integrate from the bootstrap as well. If you wanted to load in this way from the React bootstrap from your internal packages, you can make use of in this way. Okay, in the card body, so what is going to be inside the card body? Basically it is going to be some kind of a form over there. So first and foremost, I'm just going to tell if there is a messages you wanted to display inside the card body, that we can do it. But even you can make use of the, if there is any message you can display over here, that is also we can able to do it. But right now I'm not going to do that part. We'll see at the time of integration of a backend. Now I wanted to create one form over here. I have imported something called as a form right onto the top. I'm just going to make use of that specific form. So inside a form, I wanted to create there will be inside a bootstrap, there will be a form group and there will be a form control. So let me show you that how it is going to be there. So if I just go to this getbootstrap.com, so here you can see React Bootstrap we have, right? Like basically I can go to this website. It is a React Bootstrap Netlify, and if I just go to the components of it, and if I just go to the specific forms, there is a forms over here, table tools, images, cards, and I wanted to say, yeah, here it is a form. If I open the form controls here, you can see it is going to be something like this. You can see there is a form, and inside the form there will be a form group, and there will be a form control, and there will be like this. So it is taking basically an email address, and it is taking some kind of a text area. So this is how you can implement it. If I just copy this form group to form group from here to here, if I just paste it over here, you can see how it is going to look here. So you can see it is going to look something like this. Okay, I got an email address part, and I'm able to get the email text area example, something like this over here. Okay, this is how you can able to have it. But right now I'm just going to make use of a different thing. So let me type this part. So let me have this form control form label. So I'm just the bottom one, I'm just going to remove it. Okay, so in this specific form group, I'm just going to use it into a different way. We have a control ID, right? So first I wanted to display, I wanted to take the user, the first name from the user, right? So I'm just going to tell something like I wanted to take the first name from the user. I'm going to keep it as a F name. Okay, the control. So control ID is something it is going to treat as an ID. Okay, and class name you have given here, and what it should be the form label here. So the form label name, I'm just going to keep it here as a FIRST first name over here. So the form name, I am going to keep it as a first name over here. I want to make use of the icons. I hope you have used the icons over here. So you can see, if I show you here, I have make use of the icons over here. I can make use of the icons from the Fafa icon. So I'm going to make use of the first name, and before displaying the first name, I'm just going to make use of one of the component that is called as a span component. Inside a in the span, I'm just going to make use of I'm going to give some kind of a class over here. So the class name I can going to give it as a Fafa user over here. Okay, so Fafa user. So what this Fafa user is going to give, it's basically something like it is going to create some kind of an icon over here to make our like UI that's good. Okay, this will be a Fafa user, and I don't want a placeholder over here. So if you want to keep placeholder, you can keep it, and you can just mention as a enter your first name, enter your first name. I can keep in this way. Okay, enter your first name over here. If I just save it, you can see it is going to show you as a enter your first name over here. So we have a form control, and it is a type is going to be a text over here. And what is the next attribute? So the next attribute, I need to create something called as a value over here. So I'm just going to create a value attribute. Right now I'm going to keep it as an empty, and along with the value, I am going to make this specific component should be required field. It is a mandatory field to submit. Okay, that is the one thing I'm going to keep it. Yeah, so these are two components. I'm just going to make use of it. So right now, if I just save it here, and if I show here, there is nothing changed. You can see all the things is remain same. Now I wanted to have something next part, that is I want to create as for the last name. I'm going to make it here as a L name over here, and let's all the things I'm going to keep it here same as it is. Here I'm going to keep it as a last name. I'm just going to keep it as a enter your last name. So once I save this, you can able to see the last name part over here. Now I wanted to have an email address of a user. So for the email address, I'm going to make it as a control ID as an email. Here I'm just going to tell here as a Fafa email over here. I'm going to tell here as a enter your email. Okay, and I'm just going to keep it here same as it is. Here I'm just going to keep it as a email over here. Just save it over here. So once I save, you can see I got an email over here. To get an email, so what was that? So for the email, I'm just going to make use of another class. So that is basically you can go to this specific. I'm going to show you from where I'm using this file regular file envelope. So you can see if I show you, it is going to give you over here. So if you wanted to go to that part, you can just go to the Font Awesome website. You can just go to the Font Awesome here. So in this Font Awesome link, you will be able to find all kinds of an icon. Whichever you want, you can get it from here as an icon over here. Okay, if I search for a email, okay, so it is going to give you the two ways, like rectify, and even it is going to give you in the form of a, you can see if you want, this is a email, so I can make use of this. So you can see it is going to be like this. I can make use of this fast solid envelope. If I just copy this, and if I just make use of over here, okay, so you can see it is just going to be there. So let me paste properly. So once I use it, you can see once I just paste it over here, I can able to see that part into my website. You can see it's coming as a dark color now. This is all. From here you can just get it, whatever the icons you want, you can just search it and you can implement it. Okay, so now I have implemented this three important form components. So after this, what is the next thing I need to have it? So after this, I need to tell one something like whenever you are using a specific form group, right? So I'm just going to tell here, I'm going to tell one something over here like small. I'm going to use password must include at least 1 to 9 character, and A to Z, this one some special character, and at least 5 character. So one of the validation, I'm just keeping it over here. So it will show something like password must include at least this and this specific part, just for its suggestion purpose, and like this. So this is basically I don't need to use here, right? Oh, sorry, I need to use it inside the password field I'm using here in the email. So the email is authentic email, you have to give it, but here I'm going to make it type is equals to email over here. Okay, so once this is done, and I need to create another called something called as a password field over here. So I'm just going to copy the same field below, and I'm going to tell here as a password something. I'm going to keep it as a password 1, and what will be the envelope part of it. So for the password, the envelope, the icon, I can make use of something like okay, so this I wanted to handle some authentically. So right now I'm just going to keep this class name as an empty. Okay, I'm just going to keep it as an empty. I'll handle this kind of things dynamically for a password. I'm just going to keep it as a password over here. Okay, and the type is going to be the, so what is the type? So even type I'm going to keep it as a password over here. Okay, so once I'm just going to keep again, I'm just going to copy here down, and this will be your pass2. It will be the confirm password. Okay, so this also I'll handle dynamically. So I'm going to type as a password, enter your, I'm going to make it here as a enter your password, and here I'm just going to mention here as a confirm password. So let's make it here as a confirm password over here. Okay, so the value I'm going to keep it as an empty over here. So once I say, we can say I have a password and a confirm password field now. So I wanted to apply something here into a different way, and I wanted to create something like this. So I wanted to show something like here. So if I show here, you can say I wanted to make use of this kind of stuff. Like when I click here, it should be able to see the password. If I just close, it should be confirm password. Something like this I wanted to make use of it. Okay, so if I have something here, as if I just click onto here, you can see it is able to see, or it is not able to see. Okay, this is kind of a checkbox I wanted to implement it. So for implementing such kind of a checkbox, so here I have used something some kind of a form inputs here. So in this let's see what is the input I have make use of it here. Okay, okay, so I have given as a email. Okay, after the email I'm creating as a password here, right? So inside this password, I'm just going to make use of something like this. So I'm going to mention here password must be at least onto this specific character, so it is able to, I can able to see here, you can see the password must be able to have a like this, so it is able to seen over here. So once it is done, I wanted to create some kind of an input class over here, right? So I want to just create one kind of an input class. So I'm just going to keep that one. So I'm just going to keep it over here. Okay, so here we have created as an email here. Okay, so once the email is done, and I've created a small group, then another label that is for a password and a label. Okay. So let me copy that, and I'm going to paste it over here. Okay, so into the inside a form specific label, I'm just going to remove this form password, and I'm just going to keep it here like this. If I just save it, let's see how it is going to be there. Okay, I'm getting here as input group is not defined, so let me import this specific input field from the top of it. I'm just going to import this input group from the React Bootstrap / input over here. Okay, once I just save it over here, so I'm able to see that show password. Okay, this is not defined. Fine. So this is, I'm going to just remove right now. So I'm just going to remove this something like this, and even I'm going to remove this one, and let me save this now. On click, I'm just going to remove, and I'm going to remove this value as well. Just save it. I'll just remove this part because I need to teach you that React hooks part, so it is not going to be there. So if I refresh, so what is the error here? So I'm able to, can say I was able to have here, you can say I have something like a checkbox, and I can able to have some kind of a enter password field in this way. Okay, so if I wanted to have if you wanted to keep here like this, you can just keep make use of this kind of stuffs, and you can have a look onto it. So let me do one thing, let me remove this specific small from here. So once I save it here, so I hope that should fix. Okay, that is coming little bit inside, it is coming right, and I wanted to make use of it should come over. What I have done here is, you can see inside a form group, and after the form label, right after this specific form label, I have just created this input group, and the margin I have given as a 3. So I can just give it here, I can just remove this is margin as a 3 here, right? I can simply use here as a MB3. I think that should fix it over there. So once I keep it as MB3, yeah, that is fixed. Okay, now I can see it is coming properly. So in the MB3, what I have done, I have just created an input checkbox, and it is an empty right now, and we have created a form control inside that input box, like enter the password, and it will be a required field, type is a password, and the password one over here. Okay, so this is what I have done here. So what I'll do here is, then again I'm just going to keep that please enter that small thing, I'm just going to keep it over there, right? So I'm going to keep it here somewhere, something like this. So once I keep here, you can see I was able to have password must be included at least like this, and it is having like this. So rather than putting over here onto the top, I'm just going to put after this form group. Okay, not inside, after outside I'm just going to keep it. And for here I'm just going to copy the same form group again from the top, whatever we have, and this is for the password. And after that I'm just going to create another form group that should be for the password too, and it should be for the confirm password, and we have an input box, and all the things will be there. I'm just going to tell you as a confirm password over here. Okay, confirm password over there, and type will be this one. So ID I'm just going to keep it as a password 2 over here. Just save this one. So once I save, you can say I have a password and the confirm password over here. So you can say I can able to click onto this. Basically whenever I click it, whatever I'm typing, it should be shown. Once I click out, it should not show. Okay, that is what the overall idea behind keeping this checkbox like this. Okay, so now we have created a sign up form. Now let's create one specific button now. So for the button, it will be something like, I'm just going to create one button after the form group. So inside a form only, I'm just going to keep it. So I'm just going to create one break tag from here. I'm just going to tell here as a div dot I wanted to keep the specific class name, that is a grid grid, and I'm just going to keep it as a dot, and I'm going to keep it as a gap2. So this is going to create a class name of it, and I wanted to create one button that I have imported from the onto the top. So this button I'm just going to keep here as a class name. So I'm going to use it as a class name. So whatever the button you want, you can give it. I'm just going to give it as a btn. So it should be a button of a medium size, and it should be a button of a success color over here, that is a green color, something like this. The class name I'm just going to keep it. And what is the type? So type is going to be type is equals to submit. It is going to be a type is equals to submit over here. So once it is done, I'm going to give it a small letter S. So type is going to be a submit button, and what is this? I'm going to keep it as a sign up over here. So just me save it. So once I save, you can see I was able to see the sign up button over here. So this is how we have created a sign up form. That's a very simple form, and we have created using the bootstrap components over here. You can see once I click, it is a submit button until unless I fill all the form values. You can say I can able to okay, let me refresh. So I'm unable to type anything over here. Why it is not able to type? Let's check that. Okay, because why it is happening like that? So when I try to type it, is the type text, enter your first name. I am unable to type because I have given here as a value is equals to empty. Maybe let me remove this value part, and let's try now. Yeah, that is why it was giving as a value. Okay, now I can able to type it over there. Now we are going to handle this form entirely dynamic part. So once it is done, so you can see we have created a form, right? And I wanted to create another link, something like whenever I wanted to redirect from one row to another row, how we are going to redirect that specific part, right? So I wanted to create that specific thing. So let me write that part as well. I'm just going to come back over here at the bottom of the page. So here we have a sign up button, right? So after a button, after the form is getting ended, I'm just going to create one specific form, that is a row padding by, and already if he is a user, I wanted to just sign in. I'm just going to keep it as a login for the login. So I'm going to tell you, if you want to go to a login page, you will go into this /login URL over here. Just save it over here. You can see if he is an already an user, he will be able to log in. If you go here, it is going to the login script. That is what I wanted to keep it here. So now we have created something like a sign up form, and we are able to, we have just created a front end part. Now we need to implement some kind of a React component, like how we are going to store this value with the help of a use effect and use state. So once the use state, we are going to make use of a use state. Like once I type this, like how we can able to iterate the value and send it to the backend part. That is what the part is left out for integration. Okay guys, let's continue. So coming back to the screen, so here we have created something like first name, last name, all the values. I'm just going to format this document, and that should come into a very good way. So yeah, it is formatted. And now I wanted to make use of the something called as a use state, the concept of React that's going to keep track of the current state of an ID. And let's see how it is going to do, how it is going to work. Okay. So coming back to here controller, so we have, let's create first thing called as that specific form. So I'm just going to create inside our sign up screen with the help of the use state over there. So let's see what all the components I need to make use of it over there. Okay, so first here, so yeah, okay. So let me use make of the first specific. I'm going to make use of a const keyword. So first I need to keep track of the first name, and after the first, whatever will be the value of a first name initially, and once I type what is going to, what is the value at that time it is going to be. I'm just going to keep it as a f name. Then I'm going to make it as a set f name over there, and initial state of it. What is the, I'm going to make use of the use state over there. When the use state, what happens here is whatever the first name. So whatever the first name will be there, that is going to set it to the empty value over there. Okay, so if I just tell here inside our form control, if I just make it here as value, I'm just going to keep it here as a value is equals to something like this. I'm going to make use of it here, and I'm just going to make it use of the f name over here. Okay, I'm just going to keep it the value name here as a f name, that is going to track from here, and it is going to come over here. So once I save this, if I show you the output of it, you can see it is an empty right now. If imagine I have given it as a, in the use state, if I just keep it as here as Anis over here. Once I save this, you would have seen here Anis would have come over here. Why? Because whatever the value is there here, right? Whatever the value, that first value, whatever the value you want to display, that is going to pass to the f name, and it is going to pass it over here. Imagine I'm just going to, I wanted to just keep it here as an on change. So I'm going to tell here a method called as an on change over here. So I'm just going to tell whenever I change on this, whenever I just imagine now it is a defaultly it has been set to like this. Okay, now it is not changeable. It is not changeable. So I wanted to keep I wanted to change the value, then I need to apply one function called as on change. Whenever I change it, suppose I wanted to JP as Anis Rahman here, what happens at that time? This set f name is going to come into the picture, and whatever the value I have typed inside the form, that is going to set it. So that we'll see. Right now I'm just going to keep it as an empty here. So I'm just going to create some file state here. So I'm going to keep it as a L name over here. So I'm just going to keep it as a set last name, and along with that I wanted to have an email here. So I'm just going to keep it as a set email over there. Then I wanted to keep it as the password one, and I'm just going to tell here as a set pass one over there, and I'm just going to keep it here as a password 2, and here I'm just going to keep it as a set pass 2. So I hope I have given all the values, the 3 values which I wanted to make use of it. I'm going to remove the below one. Once I have done this specific part, so what is the next thing I need to keep it here? So we have just set it all the password now. So along with that, I wanted to just make use of the form control. Later we'll see other specific part over there. Okay, so let me do one thing. I'm just going to create another function. One function I'm just going to create it. So what is the function I'm just going to create it here? Inside here is I'm just going to create as a const that is going to submit handler. So this is a function which is going to handle when I just click onto a button called as a submit over here. Okay, so in this it is going to take one specific event, and there will be a function call. Let me keep it as an empty right now. So here I'm just going to keep this function as an empty. So what is the submit handle? So I'm going to create on the form submit. So we have a form, right? I'm just going to create it here as a on submit, right? So I'm just going to tell what is the exact name. Okay, yeah, on submit. So I'm going to use it here as on submit. What is the thing here to do? So now whenever on submit, this specific submit handler function has to come into the picture. This specific function has to come into the picture whenever I submit this specific form. Okay, that is the one thing is done. Then next I wanted to create another method that is called as basically on change method I need to apply. Come back to your value here. So this is the first name we have, right? So basically I'll tell here whenever that will be everything for that is going to be the same thing. I'm going to copy this. I'm just going to paste it over there. So value will be the first name. So basically whenever I change, whenever the value is getting changed in this specific form, then it has to set the specific f name. It has to set the specific first name to the one which I am typing inside the form over here. So once I save this, you can see now it is empty. I can able to change it over here. So when I type SSS, what happens in the value and f name, SSS is going to store in this variable. This is how the use state works. Okay, so it is a default value, and whenever I want to change it, this function is going to run, and it is just going to set the f name. This set f name is coming from this one, and it is whatever you are typing it, or e.target.value, whatever you are typing it, that is going to come over there. Okay, so now I'm just going to copy this data, and I'm just going to mention it here over here. So right now we have a last name, right? So value. So for the value, I wanted to just keep it here as a L name. Okay, this is a L name. I'm just going to set it again. I'm just going to tell on change, you need to set the last name. I'm going to tell set the specific L name to it. Okay, just save it. And same thing, I wanted to do it for an email. So whatever the value will be there right now, whatever the value of the email is there from the use state, you get it. And whenever it is changing, you need to set the specific email to that whatever you are typing onto the form. Let's save this one. And same thing, we need to do it for the password as well. So for the password, okay, so password, I'm just going to keep it as on change, set the specific set pass1 to whatever we are typing it. And what is the value? So value, value, I'm just going to keep it here as a pass1 over here. Okay, so this is one thing. I'm going to copy this same thing, and I'm going to keep it for the confirm password here as well. So in the confirm password, I'm just going to make use of the pass2 variable and set the specific pass2 value over there. Okay, so let me save it now. So whenever I submit it, so whenever I fill all the form now, and whenever I click onto a button called as a submit, so whenever sign up, what happens, this form on submit function is going to get called, and inside this I wanted to make use of one specific thing, that whenever I wanted to just check, I want to don't refresh this specific page, I'm going to apply e dot from the whatever the event is there. I'm just going to prevent default. Prevent default is going to do what? It is going to not make you to the refresh the page. It will be into the current page over there. Okay, e dot I wanted to just prevent the default. Right now I'm just going to console.log all the values, whether I am able to get all the values. I wanted to print f name, and I wanted to print the last name, and I wanted to print the email address. Then I wanted to print the password one, and I wanted to print the password 2. So all the values I need to print it. So once I save this, so once I just come back to the screen, let me refresh the page. So now you can see, let me type some value, and is L name, last name, right? And let's do it as money over here. I'm going to tell here as arkprocoder@gmail.com, and I'm going to type here ANWES and NWES. Once I click on the button submit, so you can see the form got submitted. Maybe if I want to check whether the form is submitted or not, so that I can go to the screen, right click and inspect element over there, and inside here, inside the console, so I can able to see, maybe I got it the values. You can see I have a lot of warnings, but you can see here Anis Rahman arkprocoder@gmail.com, Anis. So that means whatever the value I am typing it, it is taking it, and this function is getting ran, and I was able to print the values over there. That is what I was able to done it over here. Now I wanted to check one few of the validations now. So I need to apply some kind of validations now. So for the validations, I wanted to just make use of these messages and the loader wherever I wanted to display it here. So I'm going to make use of this message. So where you want to make use of the message, so I'm going to use that whatever I have used inside our home screen, right? So you can see if there is a loader, we need to load it, or if there is a message, I wanted to just display it over here, right? So that is what I wanted to do it here. So right now there is something not like a loader or a message. Directly I can make use of this message over here. So I'm just going to copy this. I'm just going to copy this specific message variant. I'll just copy this, and I'll just come over here, and I wanted to display where I can display. I'm going to display over here, or I'm going to display above the body inside a card body over there. Okay, I'm just going to make message variant. If there is any error message, I wanted to display that error message over there. I wanted to just display that error message, and that should be into danger color. Whatever you want, you can just make use of the colors. Okay. So if there is a message, I want to display any kind of error message. I want to display that. I need to make use of an error here. For the error as well, so defaultly first I'm going to keep it the error is equals to empty. Then I'm just going to tell here as a set the specific error, set the error rater. So even if there is an error, it will be a default error message. If I just come back over here right now, so let me see. If you can see, it is coming in this way. But I wanted to check if there is a message, if there is an error, then only you have to display this, or else you don't have to display this part, right? So for that case, I'm going to make use of the one important one specific. I'm going to tell error. I'm going to just tell error if there is an error, okay? And I'm going to make use of an %, okay? If there is an error, I need to make use of this messages, okay? An error, I can see no, it is not coming. If there is something, a message error comes, imagine there is something error, yes. Right now, anything happen, you can see I was able to see the message. Yes or no? This is amazing, right? If there is a message, we can make use of this specific this specific concept. Like if it is there, if it is something is there, then it is going to work, or else it is not going to work. Okay, that is what the meaning of it. So let me, I'm going to make it as an empty here right now. The error part we have done here. I'm going to add, I'm going to remove this console.logs from here. Here I'm going to make use of one of the component. I'm going to make use of the checking the passwords over there. So I'm going to tell if this specific password one, if there is a specific password one is not equals to, okay, if it is not equals to password 2, if it is the password 1 and the password 2 is not equals, then I'm going to make use of this set the error. I'm just going to tell set error message that I'm just going to make use of password do not match. Okay, something like this I'm going to make it. I'm just going to keep this one over there. Okay, so this is the one thing I'm going to make use of it. I'm just going to navigate. When we're done, I need to just show this message where I need to navigate. That is the important thing. So for that, I'm just going to make use of the navigation part. So I'm going to make use of here, I'm going to make use of a const, that is a navigate equals to, I'm just going to make use of the use navigate function over here. Okay, it is a use navigate function. So whenever it is there, I'm just going to navigate it from here. So I'm going to use it as a navigate this for this slash sign up URL. So I guess I have given the endpoint as a slash sign up. Yeah, so it is going to navigate with this message to the slash sign up over there if this condition is getting satisfied. So then if this condition is there, this is going to work. I want to check other conditions as well. So I'm going to use it as a else if condition. Else if there is not of a valid email, so whatever the email he is typing it, whether that is email is valid or not, I wanted to check it over here. So if I just tell here as a if not valid, if not of valid email dot test. Okay, basically I'm going to make use of another thing. I'm just going to create one, I'm going to remove right now. So I'm going to create one new screen. That screen is going to do what? That screen is going to check the validation, that is a rejects part, it is going to check. So what is the rejects it is going to check? It is going to check whether the email is correct format, and along with that it is going to check whether your password is having the 5 value, or what is, at least there should be a 5 character, and it should be a number, it should be have one small letter character and the one of the special characters. To check that specific thing, I'm just going to create it something called as a rejects over there. So I'm going to create something called as a rejects into the screen. So let's tell as a rejects.js. So inside a rejects.js, so in this I'm going to create something called here. I'm going to copy paste that method. So this method, what we're going to do here is it is going to create, it will create two variables here. What is a variable? It will export these two values, and it is going to make use of a rejects expression. That is rejects expression or G expression, that basically it should have at least A to Z character and A to Z and 0 to 9. It can be anything starting, and it should be any special characters, and whatever the value, it should be at least a 5 character. It is going, it basically it is this specific rejects is going to validate for the email, that's it. Okay, and this method password, it's going to validate for you for the password part. You can see this is a string which is going to help us to validate the password based on our requirement. Like it should be, there should be at least a small letter and a capital letter, and it should be number should be there, and special character should be there, and it should be at least 5 character. I have given as a 5 comma and ends with. Okay, these are two things it's going to do. So I'm just going to save this, and from here I'm just going to import that thing over here. I'm going to tell here as a import that I wanted to import from the rejects. So regs Let me just come here and just copy this and just paste it over here. Whether I get the, yeah, I got it. I'm just going to enter it. You can see it is imported here. Okay, so I'm going to import the valid email, and along with that I wanted to import the valid password. These two things I'm importing it from here. Okay, so once I import it, so now I'm just going to come back to the function here. So I'm going to check here. So if there is any method, like I'm going to tell if else if, I'm going to use else if there is a not of valid email, if there is a not on valid email dot. So this valid email function, it is going to expect one argument, that is one email. So for that I'm just going to apply one dot test test. So inside this test, I'm just going to pass whatever the email I have stored inside, whatever the email I have given, that is going to be stored. I'm going to just pass it over here. Okay, so this is going to just pass it. So if this something happens, I'm just going to tell here as enter valid email. Just going to tell here as an invalid email something. Okay, invalid email something, invalid email. So if this is something is happened, this will be there. So else if I'm going to valid for the password now. So I'm going to test for the one condition, any password. I'm going to pass for the password one or password, whatever you want, you can pass it. So we're going to tell here as a invalid password criteria does not match. Okay, so I'm going to mention here as a password criteria not match, does not match. Okay, so I'm going to just display this specific error over there. So if this all this condition is done, so I'm going to match it. So then else, I'm going to just tell here as a else, else part. If all the conditions is getting filled, now I need to submit this specific form. So I'm going to set the specific message. So I'm going to just tell as a set the so set error. So I can just set the message. I can make use of this as an error, or okay, let me no right now I'm just going to just make it here as a console.log. I'm just going to make it as a sign. So I'm going to make use of signp sign up success over here. So rather than this, I can just set a message, set an error message. I'm going to just set the error message, set message. So let me just set message error, something like this, sign up success, something. I'm just for testing purpose I'm doing this. Okay, let me just save it over there. So once I save this, okay, let me save. Now I think there is no any errors. Now come back to your screen. Now here, let's do that part now. So let me sign up, click onto this. Yeah, so I'm going to give it here as an easier. I'm going to just set for a Rahman. So I'll be giving some random something like this. I'm going to tell here as something wrong stuffs. Once I submit, you can see it is giving it. This is basically I have given as a validate email. So even if you have not given here as a validate email, so like imagine if I have not given here as whatever the email I have done, right? If I have given here as a type email, it is validating. If I just given here as a type text, even though it would have validated. So if I just type now, if I just click on to the sign up, you can see password do not match. It is not, it is validating this one. If I imagine if I just submit it in this way, you can see, okay, it is not refreshing it. So basically we need to handle in this way. Basically we need, it has to take the value. So let me remove this, and if I execute now, if I just execute, let me refresh again. You can just give it here, say yes and yes. If I submit, you can see it is going to the password do not match criteria first. So what happened here is basically if I just come here not valid dot test email, so it is not going to this email. Basically somehow this is not probably that part is not working it. So fine, I'm just going to remove this. I'm just going to keep only one regex for the valid password, and for the, in this case I'm going to remove this part, and in this case I can just keep it here as a type is equals to email. That will handle directly by our form element. I'm going to tell you as where is it, type is equals to email over here. I'm just going to save it now. Okay, so once I just save it here, so let me come back here. So now I'm going to just sign up. You can see it is giving error. I'm going to tell as a sign up at the rate gmail.com. So if I just click on to the sign up, you can see password is not matched. So let me give the correct one. I'll just tell here as a 1234 and 1234. If I just submit, even though you can see password criteria does not match. Okay. I think the previously I think email, okay, invalid email I had given, so I don't know what I had given. Okay, fine. So you can see password criteria does not match. I'm able to get it. So let me see what I had given previously. It was working. Okay, that's correct. Just save it. Now you can see password criteria does not match, it is giving. So if I just give here as a RK at 123 and if I given here as a or k at the rate 123, now it is a correct password. If I given, you can see the sign up has been success. So the whatever the rejects we have added, that is working fine. Okay, that is the one thing we have done over here. So now before proceeding with the backend part, let me check how much it has been done. Okay, so it's been 44 minutes I have recorded. So okay, fine, that part we'll do it in the next session, and apart from that backend we are going to integrate in the next session. But before do that, I wanted to add that show password and hide password functionality for that. So for that thing, I'm just going to make use of the show password and the hide password thing, right? So let's make use of that specific component now, so that I can just create one function. I'm just going to create one function here. So where I can, wherever you feel good, you can just create it. So here is a return statement. So here I'm just going to create it here. So what is the password? I'm just creating one function, that is a show password function. It is going to iterate the password 1 and a password 2 value if the type is equals to password and z dot type is equal to both the condition is satisfied. It is just going to change it to the text. Basically, I want it, if I just click on to a button here, right? If I just click here, it has to show us the password, right? So for that, it is just going to just change the text type is equal to text. If it type is equal to text, whatever I am typing it, that is going to be visible, right? So that is, if it is not, I'm just going to make use of it. Normally, I'm just going to tell as a change show is equals to fafa, change show is equals to fafa I slash. This is the icon. I'm going to change the icon dynamically over there. Okay. So the function, I hope you have understood this very simple function. Iterates the ID, and if it types is equals to password, we'll make it to text, or else we'll make it to the password over there. That is what we have just done it over there. So then along with that, I need to just create this specific, right? I need to just create this as one. This is basically something I need to create, like what is the current value and what is the next value that is going to be changed. I've created as here as a change show. I'm just going to create it here into the way, and we're going to tell as a change show, and I'm just going to keep it as a show. So this will be the show, the use state value. So what should be the default one? So the default one I'm going to do is as a fafa I. So it should be like I symbol, that is a visible one. Okay. So the fafa I should be there like this. I'm going to make use of it. Then this thing I need to implement into my password fields over there. So now coming back to the this one, where is our confirm password and the password character. So in this specific password character, we have created an input checkbox, right? So for the input checkbox, I wanted to create one methodology that I'm going to create it here. Whenever it has been clicked, whenever it is whenever we are clicking it, it has to call the function called as a show password function. It has to call it over here. Okay, I'm going to call it as a show password function. It has to work. And what is the value of it? So value is password 1, that is fine. Now what is where I am going to make use of that specific logo, where you wanted to display that part, we need to just make use of it, right? So I'm going to use inside this specific span tag over there. So inside this specific span tag, where is it? So inside this specific span tag, we have created an I class. Right, I have given as a class is equals to empty, right? Because I wanted to make use of, I wanted to just do what? I wanted to just get the value from the variable, from the use state variable. So what is the use state variable I have created as the show? So I have created as a show. So the class, I'm just going to keep it as a, it should be a class name. Class name, I'm just going to keep it as a show over here. Okay, let me save this. So once I save this, and that all the things is going to be in work, and the same way I'm just going to copy this span tag from here, and the same span tag I'm just going to replace here as well, and here confirm password value. So all the things is going to be same now. I guess I'm not missed anything. And here, yeah, here also I need to just call, whenever I click on to this on click, I need to just call that show password function over here. Let's save this, and once I save this, and let's check whether it is working or not. If I just refresh now, I'm just going to type something. If I just click here, okay, you can see it is working. You can see these are things is working. If I just click, it is working, but the text is not getting changed. The text value is not getting changed. So what is the reason? Let's have it. Here we have a password 2, and what else here? We have a password 1, and the values are there. Okay, and type we have just created here as a, okay, what is the type we have created? We have just given the type as a password itself, right? Okay, that is correct. And let me check something is been missed here inside a function. Let's come here inside a text function. So we are just editing the ID with the password and the password 2. If it is type password and z dot type is a password, it will be a text. and if it is not, it should be a password. That is correct. And I guess I need to provide some default value for the password value. Okay, so here the mistake here is, you can see we have given as a control ID here, right? So let me do one thing. There are two IDs are getting conflict for the form group, and inside this I'm going to replace your ID with this control ID, and whatever the control ID path to I have created, I'm just going to replace with this two, this one over here. So once I save this, now if I just come back now, and now if I just click on, okay, if I just refresh again, so yeah, so if I just click on to now, so you can, okay, you can see it is telling us a reading type that cannot read the properties of a null type. Here it is giving in this way. Okay, I think I need to just give it here as an other than control ID. I'll just give it here as an ID, not a control ID. I'll just keep it here as ID here. Just me save this. Now it has to work. Okay, now if I just click on to here, you can see if I just refresh now, there is something password. So if I just click on to here, you can see I was able to, if I scroll down, you can see it is able to, like, it is going to be like this. Okay, so this is how we can able to click onto the show password and hide password. You can see if it is an open eye, it is a show, and if it is a close eye, it will be like this. So if I refresh, so if I just type it here, so it should be basically on the default, it should be closed, right? It should be default, it should be closed. So that is the one thing I wanted to do it. So for that, I'm going to keep that methodology here. So I slash, right, for Fafa, I slash is the class. So whatever the default will be there here, I'm just going to keep it the Fafa as a I slash over here. Okay, so once I save this, so I can able to see the default value of this password is going to be something like this. Okay, so you can see hide and show password. This is all the things are working perfectly. Okay, so this is how we have implemented the sign up page. Now in a very fractions of minutes, we are going to create a login page as well. So simply I'll just click on to the login page. Here we don't have anything. So login will be the replica of the sign up page, right? So it will be a replica of a sign up page. I'm going to copy each and everything from here, and I'll just go back to your login screen, and I'm just going to replace this login screen, right? So I'm going to replace with like this, and I'm just going to keep it here as a LOJN login, SCREN screen, and the function name I'm just going to rename it to LOJN login, SCREN screen over here. Just save it. And here all the things is going to be make use of it. Here basically I don't need as a const L name and F name. I need to make use of only a email and the password here, right? I'm going to remove this email, and I'm going to keep the email and the password, and I need to have this I slash. I don't need this one as well. Just save it. Submit handle should be there, and here these conditions are not required. I'm just going to remove it here. Okay, and in the show password function I don't require. I'm going to remove this here. And here I'm just going to keep it the header name here as a login here, save it, and rest all the things is going to remain same. And here I don't need a form group of first name, last name. I need to have of an email. I'm just going to keep it only an email part, and along with that I need to have a password field one. I'm just going to keep it this password, and inside a password I'm just going to okay, let it be this. So I need to keep this part, right? So I'm just going to keep this part. In this condition I'm just going to remove this part. That is fine, but I'm going to make use of this show password functionality. I'll keep it as it is, and in this case I'm wanted to just keep track of one variable, that is a password one, and I'm just going to tell here as x dot type, and if it is a password I'm just going to keep it to the text, and I'm going to run that change show function. So that change show function I will get it from here again. So from here I'm going to just paste it over here, and this will be there, and this is going to be there. I'm going to remove here as a z type, and all the things is going to be remain same. And after that I'm going to create here, so in the sign up is right, I'm just going to make use of a login page here, and then along with that okay, where I'm changing, I think I removed, okay, I'm saying correctly, okay, done. So from here I'm just going to remove the first name group form group function, the first name and last name I'm just going to remove it, and I'm just going to keep the email part, and whatever the password is there I'm just going to keep it, and I'm going to remove this small from here, and whatever the confirm password is there I'm going to remove it from here, and I'm just going to keep it here as a login. Save this one, and I'm going to tell here as if he is a new user, it has to redirect to the SIGNUP sign up page. It has to redirect to the sign up, so link I'm going to make it as a SIGNUP sign up part over there. So I'm just going to remove this page. That's it. Very simple. So once you create one form, then you need to create a replica for other rest. Let's see whether what's happened. So if I refresh, the things is there perfectly. Click onto the login. Wow, it's going to the login page. I can able to enter the email, and I can able to see the password and hide password functionality. If I click onto the sign up, I was able to go to the sign up page, and if I just come back here, we have come back to the login page here. So that's an amazing thing which we have done into the session. So now you guys got an idea how we are going to create a forms in the React, and in the next session we are going to implement the Redux and connect with our backend functionality. Take care. Bye bye. If you're new to the channel, please subscribe. Take care. Bye bye.